Hi, it's Rick Allen, the Psychic Numerologist. Welcome to lesson number 1, our introduction to numerology. Numerology possibly goes back over 10,000 years ago. Numbers play an important part in the Old and New Testaments of the Holy Bible, and reference to numerology calculations can also be found in the Hebrew Kabbalah. But it was Pythagoras who, with his mathematical studies over 2,600 years ago, that is credited with bringing new life to mathematical studies today. At the turn of the 20th century, an American woman by the name of L. Dow Mallet from Atlantic City, New Jersey, renewed interest in modern numerological science through several published books of hers. And it was Dr. Julia Seton who brought more popularity to numerology, and also Florence Campbell and Juno Jordan continued to advance the science. But it was 20 years ago or more that New Zealander Richard Webster brought many breakthroughs with his numerous books, including Chinese numerology and Numerology Magic, which are published by New Age publisher Llewellyn. Chinese numerology is based on the Lu Shu grid, and that is basically what we will be covering in our course here this time around. The reason is that it's a very basic and simple system to be able to do, and I do have to give credit once again to Richard Webster for bringing that into the modern age. But the Lu Shu grid is actually very old. The legend goes that Lu Shu found a turtle with the grid on the back of the turtle and developed his numerological Chinese numerology science from that grid on the back of that turtle. The turtle was considered very good luck, so it was considered appropriate that he discovered the Lu Shu grid, as it is called now. This series will teach you the basics of numerology. At the conclusion, you will be able to do a basic numerology reading for yourself, your friends, and also for your family. So how does numerology work? It's really unclear exactly why numerology works. Much like electricity, it is a natural phenomenon that when harnessed creates an unseen energy that can produce cosmic effect to work with nature. Much like the laws of attraction, it just seems to work with nature. We do not have an explanation of why it works. It just is one of those things that work. There is nothing supernatural about it. It is all just basic mathematical calculations and the interpretation of those numbers. The reason I refer to myself as a psychic numerologist is that I use my intuitiveness to interpret those numbers and mathematical equations that are produced through numerological calculations. Neither numerology nor psychic interpretations are an exact science, and you should always keep in mind that you should not rely upon any science, especially when it comes to legal and medical outcomes. In many situations, numerology has proven to be uncanny in its accuracy. It's been used by the famous and the infamous to determine the outcome of world events, and those have been well documented and factual. So how is this numerological information derived at? How are numerological calculations determined? It is actually very simple method, and only requires the most basic of mathematical formulas. I've been doing this for well over 40 years. My mother had an interest in the psychic, and the sciences, and she passed that on to me. And trust me, mathematics were not one of my strong points in school, but I've used it since to be able to develop my ability and become an expert at numerology. So it is just basic mathematics. If you can do simple addition, subtraction, multiplication, mostly addition, you can do this. It's just fine. So how are these numbers calculated? Well, they break down into a very simple method. And the universe is comprised of numbers. Now, think about it. Everything that we know is based on mathematics. The economy, time, the weather, science, DNA, they all have their basis in mathematical formulation. With astrology, the keys are based on the planets. With numerology, the keys on personality and life events are based on mathematical equations that are interpreted by numerology. In numerology, all numbers combinations can be reduced to just 9 prime numbers. There are 2 sets of special numbers, 11 and 22, which are referred to as master numbers, and we'll get into those in later lessons. But they are very, very important numbers in numerology. I hope that you'll enjoy this journey. I'm doing this extemporaneously. I just have a few notes that I'm going by. This is something new for me. I've never done these lessons online before like this, so it's a journey for both of us. But I do hope that you join us again in lesson number 2, where we will begin to learn how to calculate the numbers and how to interpret the numerological calculations and the outcomes that they bring. So until the next time with lesson number 2, we'll see you, and God bless. Thank you.